Unit 12 calling for immediate backup to City Hall.
Still no explanation.
Time to cue maniacal laugh.
This is Duke Nukem. If you're looking for a douchebag to save the day, then try Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Alright, now where are the babes?
And why am I laughing so maniacally, you may ask yourself the question? Well, it's been a really unusual week for entertainment news in the fact that there's been cancellation after cancellation. I said in my previous video that there's a very weird synergy going on at the moment between Netflix and David Zaslav of Discovery Warner, because he is cancelling things left, right and centre. He buried the Batgirl movie like 6 feet under. Rumour has it that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is undergoing reshoots at the moment. In fact, they're so top secret that apparently Amber Heard is not in the reshoots. An unnamed actress, I'm still going to say it's Emilia Clarke, is shooting scenes with Jason Momoa. So it'll be very, very interesting if that does actually happen. I mean, David Zaslav is a money man. I think he's got some common sense when it comes to what works, what doesn't work, and I'm actually fine with that. You know, if David Zaslav is old school, like the 90s, the early noughts, the 80s. Give me a big idea, huh? Yeah, she's got big knockers, long legs. Yeah, just cast her in that film. Cast her right now. That's just a terrible, shitty accent. Honestly, guys, I've got to take acting lessons again. I really need to. But this made me laugh today. And if you are paying attention, like Q would say to 007, you know my disdain for the Resident Evil series, the woke series on Netflix. We obviously had Welcome to Raccoon City, then it was Welcome to New Raccoon City, with starring Ella Balinska. Because again, when I think of a Resident Evil film, I'm going to be casting a diversity hire like Ella Balinska or Hannah John Kamen as a lead role. And of course, here she plays a made-up character called Jade Wesker for a race-swapped Albert Wesker, played by the great Lance Reddick. Remember what I said before, folks? You get a diversity hire, you put them in the role that was made famous in a video game or in a movie by somebody else. And again, these diversity hires don't give a shit. They just want to get paid and try to reset the landscape. Tell people this is what they want. Tell people that we're representing you out there. No, people, look. My late grandma and my late granddad, they were based as hell. They didn't care about representation in the films they watched. They just wanted to be entertained. What's wrong with that? You know, as human beings, folks, we just like to sit back, put our feet up, forget about the real world, and just watch something to entertain us. We don't want to watch something that's preachy and tells us we need to be represented or feel ashamed that we never thought that way. You know, Idris Elba is a very, very good example of this. I mean, whenever he appears in a project, he doesn't go on the warpath and tells people, well, it's important for me to be in this film or in this TV show. Because if you think about the show Luther, you know, nobody thought to themselves, well, a white guy could have played that. No, it just happened to be that Idris Elba is in a lead role that would traditionally be played by a white man. Let's look at the facts, right? That's the case. But because he just made that show his own, in fact, of course, the show is written by a white dude anyway, so it didn't matter. And obviously that white dude had in mind to use Idris Elba. So you watch the show, or, you know, like in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you just think, you know what? You got me hooked. I want to see what happens. And every time Idris Elba appears in something, he doesn't bring agenda or politics into the conversation. It's like, Here's my film. Had a great time in South Africa shooting beasts. Yada, yada, yada. That's all it is. So following in the footsteps of the streamer's bastardization of Cowboy Bebop, yeah, because Daniela Pineda was the perfect Faye Valentine, Netflix's live-action Resident Evil series has been cancelled. By the way, banning into comics, cancelled is spelt with 2 L's, but I'll let you off after just one widely panned season. Oh, yeah. Word that Netflix had gone for the headshots on their take on Capcom's popular video game series was first broken on August the 26th. The thing is, I bet they've got diversity hires in there, or white knighters in Netflix, who just go ahead and get these projects greenlit because they just don't give a shit about the original source. Coming just a month and a half after its premiere, according to the trade news outlet sources, the decision was made based on their discovery that the drama did not have a particularly strong showing in Netflix's top 10, and cost versus viewing is the streamer's leading renewal criterion. Yikes, that is an awful cringe picture. Holy shit. You could put a female in a tough role if it wasn't associated with an IP, and people might actually kind of find it okay. But as explained by Deadline, though Resident Evil debuted in the wake of Stranger Things, so you're going up against a juggernaut like that, its 4th season, Netflix had hoped that word of mouth would help contribute to an eventual surge in viewership for the fledgling action horror series. The problem is, they just take, oh, that's Resident Evil. Make a TV show. Do it right now. It's awful. Yeah, Lance Reddick cosplaying as Blade was just god-awful. It was laughable. It fell out of the streamer's top 10 rankings just after 3 weeks, never to return. I think what it is, Netflix don't divulge the actual data for viewership of their programs, and I'm wondering if Netflix do watch the bigger YouTube content creators out there who criticize their content. Maybe they do, and maybe they won't say anything, but they saw the backlash against Cowboy Bebop, and they've seen it on the Resident Evil shows. You know what? I just got to go back to Resident Evil Apocalypse in 2004. When I watched that film,
They're infected.
and Sienna Guillory appears as Jill Valentine. First of all, live action accurate Jill Valentine with a short brunette. Beautiful. Sienna Guillory, I didn't even know she was British at the time. I just thought, wow, this girl is kick ass. Who needs Mila fucking Jovovich? It's true, like, Alice is a made up character in that franchise anyway. Honestly, like, Guillory just overtook the film. She is fantastic. If I ever get to meet her at a Comic-Con, I'll just tell her that. By the way, I nearly bought a signed photo of hers, but she actually double signs a signature, which I didn't know. Almost bought it. It was £35, but I just thought, I don't know. Don't know if I can trust the source who was going to sell that to me, so I just left it alone. But that film, yeah, if you've never seen Resident Evil Apocalypse, not directed by Paul W.S. Anderson or Paul Anderson, I can never remember which one is which. So, ladies and gentlemen, where's the review bombing in this situation? Because normally all the crazes on Twitter will come out and they'll get their bots into motion. Right, let's stop upvoting Resident Evil, Welcome to New Raccoon City. Just do all of that. Just ramp up the stats so it looks really great. But funny enough, whereas Disney does employ bots to do its dirty work for them, it seems Netflix won't go down that particular route, which is, I suppose, good for them, maybe. But oh my god, Metascore 53 based on 16 reviews. The user score 1.4. Wow, based on 245 ratings. What a difference, huh? Wow. Yeah, I mean, just awful. When you see cringe like this, where they're sisters, okay, whatever. One is like the poor woman's version of Rogue from the X-Men, and she should have died in the first episode, but for some reason they kept surviving, kept irritating us, so that was obviously par for the course right there. And it's such a shame. God, poor Lance Reddick, what are you doing, mate? Jesus. So, I don't know. I don't hold up much hope now for... Well, look, Millennium Films, they've got this now. They should probably go back to the drawing board and just give the fans, get a decent director, one who's not going to shit all over a franchise, somebody who's got a really great track record on IMDb. Get a good action. You know, maybe if he wasn't doing video games now, Neil Blomkamp, he would have been a great choice to do a TV show for Resident Evil, or maybe a trilogy of films. Get somebody like him. But, you know, I'm not a money man. I'm not a businessman. I'm sitting here in my armchair in my room giving you my ideas, you know, my fan fiction. But, you know, I'm just one of thousands of people in this fellowship of culture, or pop culture, that has these views. Man, that's pretty much it. So guys, let's rest in peace for Resident Evil on Netflix. Nah, good riddance to you. Don't need you. Just take the same L like Batgirl did, because yeah, what a shit show that film was going to be. So folks, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment or two below. And if I were you, I would check me out on the next video.
No, don't shoot them!
I'm leaving town. I suggest you do the same.